morning, class. So today we are going to be working through the Elizabeth Blackwell reading that you were assigned on ReadWorks. So again, I am going to assume that you have already read the reading. So if you haven't, it's a good time to pause the video, go and read the article, and then come back and we can work on this together, all right? So I have here the list of questions that you are being asked, and I'm going to go through some of them, but some of them I do want you to work out on your own. All right. But of course, as always, you can put any questions you have on Google Classroom and I'll be here for that. All right. So, the first question: what was a job that no woman in America had in the early 1800s? Remember that this is based on the article we've just read. So, if I look at the article we just read, what's the very first line? In the early 1800s, there were no women doctors in America. What's that tell you? Well, what was a job that no woman in America had in the early 1800s? A, being a teacher was a job that no woman had. It doesn't say that. B, being a seamstress, it doesn't say that. C, being a doctor, it did say that. D, being a nurse, it did not say that. Even though I knew that C was almost definitely right, remember that we looked at sometimes they have more than one good answer. So I like to go all the way through, check D, and then, all right, it's C. Okay? Question 2. The author contrasts the Blackwell family with other families. How is the Blackwell family different? So I might not know what contrast means, but then over here it says, how was the Blackwell family different? So I know that I'm looking in the text for something about the Blackwell family that was different. What was different about them from other families in the early 1800s? And I'm not going to answer that one with you. I want you to go through, I want you to read all 4 options, and I want you to decide which one can I find evidence for in the text. Question 3. Elizabeth Blackwell showed determination when trying to become a doctor. What evidence in the text supports this claim? So here I have 4 sentences, and I'm looking for the sentence from the text that, or 4 options. I'm looking for the option from the text that supports the idea that Elizabeth Blackwell showed determination, that she tried hard to become a doctor. All right? So, let's see. When Elizabeth was 11 years old, her father announced he was moving the family across the sea to America. He had grown weary of the religious and political intolerance in England. That has nothing to do with her becoming a doctor. Let's look at B. Elizabeth's father died very suddenly from an illness, leaving behind a widow, 9 children, and bills to pay. To make money, the Blackwell sisters turned to the thorough education their parents provided, and they began teaching. Again, nothing to do with her becoming a doctor. C. One day, a dying female friend made a suggestion that would change Elizabeth's life and open doors for generations of women to come. The woman said that she so wished her doctor had been a woman who might have understood her illness better and been more compassionate. So that does have to do with something about a doctor, but it doesn't have to do with the determination she showed, the strength she showed when trying to become a doctor. It doesn't even talk about, Elizabeth becoming a doctor. It just shows the idea being planted in her mind. So let's look at D. Elizabeth applied to several medical colleges, but they all rejected her. She applied to more medical schools, and then she was finally admitted to one. Well, this does show me determination. She tried, they rejected, she tried, they rejected, she tried, they rejected, and she kept trying. That shows determination, and it has to do with medical school, becoming a doctor, so I know the best answer is D. 4, I want you to try on your own. 5, what is the main idea of this text? Main idea, what is the most important thing from this text, right? So all of these options might come directly from the text, but I need to think. If I had one sentence to tell someone about this text, what would I say? Elizabeth Blackwell was born in England at a time when children from poor families were often forced to work. That's not the main idea of this text. Before teaching, Elizabeth Blackwell thought about becoming a doctor, but she had always been uncomfortable when studying biology and the human body. Again, not the main idea. The main idea, and we can even tell sort of by looking through the questions, although the questions are about, you know, something about doctors, something about women doctors. Elizabeth Blackwell, the first woman doctor in America, achieved her dream because of her determination. That seems right. But let me read D. Many people opposed Elizabeth Blackwell's efforts to become a doctor, but she did not let their opposition affect her studies. Well, that's also really good. So I want to think about which is sort of a broader idea, which one is captures more of the whole text. And between the two, D is good, but C can include D. In other words, when I look at C, it has when I look at C, part of that is that people opposed her efforts, but she continued to try. When I look at D, it's a little bit more specific. When I look at C, it's a little bit more broad. And when I'm looking for a main idea, I am looking for something that's sort of broad. So C is going to be my best answer here. 6, I want you to try on your own. I want you to try to figure out what the word rigorous means based on the context of this sentence. Read this sentence. On January 23, 1849, Elizabeth Blackwell achieved her dream when she became the first woman in America to graduate from medical school and become a doctor. She also ranked first in her class. How could the second sentence be rewritten? Best be rewritten. So this is the second sentence here. She also ranked first in her class. So I know that the first sentence says that she became this first woman doctor, and then it says she also ranked first in her class. If I look at the options, they all have the part she ranked first in her class. So the only thing that we're trying to fix is what's a better way of saying she also? Instead of she also, how can I make it more powerful? How can I make my sentence more powerful? Moreover means even more so. Not only did she graduate, but she ranked first in her class. On the other hand means the opposite, right? On the one hand, I want to go outside. On the other hand, I think it's safer to stay inside. And these two sentences, they're not really opposites. They build on each other. So B is out. As a result, she ranked first in her class. She did not rank first in her class because she became the first woman to graduate medical school. So that's not right. Obviously, she ranked first in her class. That's also incorrect because obviously it's not obvious. It's not clear that she would have ranked first. In fact, many people would probably, thinking back, right, if they thought that women couldn't be doctors, then they would be surprised that a woman ranked first. So it wouldn't be obvious. It wouldn't be as a result. It wouldn't be on the other hand, but it could be moreover. Not only did she graduate, moreover, she did it top of her class. All right? Now we're getting to the written answers. So I will be posting a separate video with written answers because this is long enough. Please, as always, reach out if you have any questions. I am here for you. I am sitting on my couch waiting for your questions. Please be getting your work done. Big shout out to Luna, to Juliet, to Katerin. I've seen Giselle, S, Delilah, all on the Chromebooks or on the computer. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing your work. Thank you to everybody who's doing it on paper. And I will be actually checking with your families soon to make sure that they know what work you're supposed to be getting done. Have a wonderful morning, and I will talk to you soon.